Hey y'all, Chris cooking Nashville here. The grocery store had pork loins on sale, so I got us one. I'm gonna show you one of our favorite things to do with a big pork loin like this. You can feed a family, you can do it on a budget, and it's easy and extremely tasty. Today, we're doing armadillo roast on Chris cooking Nashville. All right, y'all, we're gonna prepare this pork loin to make an armadillo roast. I have cut the excess fat off of the top of this. You don't have to necessarily do that, but we just don't want extra fat. It's gonna make it easier with less fat off of the top here to trim this up into the size that we need to use. Now I'm gonna flip it over so I can see the leaner side, and this is where we're gonna cut from. It's just easier to cut through the lean side than it is to try to cut through that fat that's on the other side. This is much, much easier. First thing I need to do is I'm going to take this rounded end off of here because that's going to be a little bit difficult to work with, so we're going to slice through there. Once that's free and clear, set that off to the side. Next, we need to decide how much of this loin we're going to make into a roast, so I'm going to section this off for 4 people. So I'm going to do a couple 3 inches for each person. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to cut our roast somewhere in this area here. So we'll just cut a nice clean edge right here that'll make this easy to work with the roast. These nice straight edges will give us an easy roast to work with. We're going to turn the rest of this into pork chops. You can make this chops or another roast, whatever works best for your family. If you have any loose pieces of fat or skin like this, go ahead and trim them off. It'll be easier when you cook this roast. We're going to do this in the air fryer. You can also do it in the oven. Either way, it's going to be cooked on high heat, and we don't want these to burn. Now this is going to give us a nice clean pork loin to work with, so take your time, clean up those excess pieces, and you'll be really happy with the results. All right, so now we're gonna make the seasoning mixture, and this is part of what makes this armadillo roast taste so good. To a bowl, I'm gonna add 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, crack in 1 egg, add 1 large pinch of salt, 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, depending on how much you like pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 2 to 3 teaspoons of your mustard of choice. This is stone ground mustard, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme, about 1/4 cup of some kind of freshly grated hard cheese. I chose to use Romano. You could use Parmesan. Any kind of hard or dry cheese like this will work. About 1/4 cup. And about 2 to 4 ounces of some kind of soft cheese. This is a whole milk mozzarella, fresh grated, whatever kind of cheese you want, just some kind of soft melting cheese. You can kind of do this however you like, but this is a flavor combination I really enjoy. Now we just need to mix this mixture really well until it's all combined. Once that's thoroughly mixed, our spread is done. Okay, we need to lay down some plastic wrap so that we can easily roll our armadillo roast. And then we're gonna lay down bacon and we're gonna shingle it 1 slice on top of the other, the same width as our pork loin. And then we're gonna roll it. As you're laying down your bacon, look at the thin end and the thick end of your bacon if that is the way it's cut, and alternate that so that you get even coverage of the bacon. Now we just need to set our pork loin on top of our bacon. So that's gonna hold everything in place, line up those ends, and now we can put our spread on. So I'll put about half on this side. Spread that out. Then we're gonna flip the pork loin over on top of the bacon. We're gonna line the pork loin up with the end of the bacon. So when we roll it, it'll be easy to make this meet up with the other side. So we're going to spread the other half of our mixture on this side. Now it's time to roll. Grab the plastic, lift up and push forward. Roll the pork loin into place around the bacon, pull that plastic back and keep squeezing it under to make sure that that plastic doesn't get trapped in between. This might get a little messy, but I promise it's worth it. Take the top of the plastic wrap, lay it flat, tuck it under, and then we're going to pull the bottom part backwards and wrap it tight around the pork loin. Now we're just going to place this in the fridge for a couple hours, and it's time to cook.
All right, y'all, there is the armadillo roast out of the air fryer. You saw how I put it together. You saw it was simple. It doesn't have that many crazy ingredients, and you can honestly season it any way that you want to. Now, I had this little internal thermometer here. I happen to have one of those. If you don't have one of those, it's fine. You can use one of the temperature probes. You just need to get it around 145 degrees. If you like your pork cooked more than that, you could do it more. We like it at about 145 degrees. It's been sitting here resting, so we're gonna slice it up, and I'm gonna show you guys how amazing this armadillo roast looks. All right, y'all, there's the armadillo roast. I have a couple of special taste testers, my wife and my brother-in-law, both at the same time. So, and you guys have seen them in videos, either one or the other, but now we've got both of them together. So I'm gonna let them taste test and tell us what they think.
I'd like to think I'm prettier.
Oh, wow. All right. Never mind.
All right. Maybe funnier, maybe smarter.
Wow.
Whoa.
Older sister complex coming on.
This looks good.
This looks amazing.
Smells really good. Oh, man.
That's tender.
It like melts in your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Has like a bacon, like, that's...
It's also like the pork loin itself is like very like soft. And then you got like that crispy bacon on the outside. I guess it would be a sauce that like kind of glues it together.
A filling?
Yeah, like a filling.
Oh, you got a good bite of it.
I think the filling may really help, like, man.
It adds a punch to it. So you get this soft, but yet crispy, bacony, fatty goodness. And then you move into like this punch of flavor coming from the, what do you call this? What is that, a sauce?
Sauce, a spread, a filling, whatever you guys would like to call it.
Whatever.
That's awesome.
And then you move into this tender mouth, like just melt in your mouth. Loin that is just perfectly cooked. This is a 10 out of 10. I love this.
So y'all saw how I cooked it. If you don't overcook a pork loin, it can be really, really good. We like ours at about 145. If you get it more done than that, I know that people used to say you needed to cook pork to 165. The FDA actually updated that, and they said, no, as long as it's at 145 and you let it rest for 5 minutes, that it's going to be totally fine. So basically what I did is I took this out, I temped it on the inside. You have carryover cooking as well. So I pulled it out at about 141 degrees. It carried over a little over 145 based on that thermometer that I had. I give you guys the times for sort of the weight and everything of your air fryer. It's easiest. You can get a very inexpensive just temperature probe. Double check the temperature of your meat. Try to get that up to about 141 to 142 when you pull it out. Covered with foil for 5 to 10 minutes.
Absolutely.
And then you saw when I sliced it, like, there's not a lot of juice running out of it because it all redispersed back into it.
That's why it's so tender.
That's why it's tender, that's why it's juicy, that's why it's tasty. And I had somebody on one of my comments ask me for a tender pork loin recipe because they always feel like pork loin is dry and tough, and it can be because it's lean meat. This is how you do it. This is how you keep it moist, and this is how you keep it tender.
Delicious.
Bacon makes everything better.
When I saw that this was wrapped in bacon, I automatically was like, I'm really gonna like this, but
yeah.
That bacon is so good.
Also, I know that bacon looks really dark when it comes out of the air fryer, but it's good that way.
It's so really good. Well, also I think on camera, like it can be hard sometimes with like lighting and just the way the lens works and stuff, but in person I don't think it actually looks that dark.
It doesn't.
And when you taste it, it's just like a nice crispy.
You also have that loin cooking, and you have that steam coming up on the
Yeah.
side of the bacon.
Yes.
And then that under bacon is soft and flavorful and just good. And then you have that crispy top, so it actually works out super well together.
It does.
And I'm gonna say this as someone who's done a lot of cooking in their life: trust your thermometer, first rule, and do what he says. That 145 is important. We both grew up every piece of meat overcooked.
Always.
145 on your pork loin will change your life, I promise.
Yep.
Yes.
Meat will have flavor.
Meat will have flavor.
Yep.
And it'll be tender.
What a concept, right?
I mean, I didn't have a medium rare steak until I was 17 years old. Oh, changed
didn't
my
have-
life.
So sorry.
I didn't have a rare steak until I was like 27. Now I don't eat it any other way. It's like, why would you?
Save the children. Cook your meat correctly.
That's right.
Amen.
Well, guys, there you go. That's the armadillo roast. If you're trying to feed a family, you saw the size of pork loin I started with. That was on sale. It was like $22 for that whole thing. So you can do a lot of things like this on a budget. They're really good. They're great for a family. If you know the right way to cook them, they're fantastic. Everyone can get on board with something like this. Doesn't matter if someone's keto, carnivore, or just a standard American diet. And this is a great recipe. This is a really fun one. I've done this one for a while, and I thought it was time to go ahead and pull it out for you guys here. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. All of my links are down below as usual. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out as we try to change the world one plate at a time. Y'all make sure to make this. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your families. Chris Cook in Nashville. Mrs. Chris Cook in Nashville. My brother-in-law, Tristan. We appreciate you guys very much. Eat your meat. Love your life. We'll see you next time here in the kitchen for the next recipe.
Bye.
Honey, what are you doing?
Oh, just hosing down the cutting board.
Why are we doing that?
Can't fit in the sink.
How do you feel about hosing down a cutting board?
I just roll with it. Are you cleaning the microwave?
Yes.
That's hot.
I mean, I think I am. I like Roman century Lego sets.
Why?
Because it's stupid. What's it called again?
It's not classy.
What's it called?
Is it armadillo?
Armadillo.
Armadillo. We're funny.
You're funny.
We're funny.
I know I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. We need dinner and a nap.
I've had possum before.
Delish.
Amazing. Might be cookie and law.